Hey, what's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tony, and today we're gonna take a look at the Godox IT30 Pro. This is a very small flash. I think it's the smaller flash I ever review on this channel. This is not a sponsor review. I got this flash for my Fuji system, and I pair it right now with my Fuji X-T3. I really like this camera. It's an older model, but it has this timeless retro look, which I really like. This flash is really interesting because it works as flash on camera with a small size, very powerful, and also it doubles up as a transceiver. So as a transmitter, you can trigger off-camera flashes up to 3 groups. And for today, I just pair it up with this AD100 just to keep a very minimalistic look and to see how they work together. This is not a technical review of this flash. I'll put all the technical data on the description below if you guys want to check it out. But this is just a review from a user point of view. So we're going to take this flash through his paces. I'll use it as flash on camera. I'll take some pictures. We'll see how it works. We'll see how the TTL works, the skin colors. We're going to take some pictures with the flash on camera to explore the TTL function. And also I will going to use it as a transmitter to trigger my AD100 to see how it works and how easy it is to make adjustment on the fly on the back of the flash. The digital display resembles the X3 transmitter, so it's very close resembles of that Godox transmitter. And if you are familiar with that, you know, it kind of like is very intuitive. So by the end of this video, we'll see what is good, what is bad, and what doesn't work on this flash. We'll see who this flash is for, and if it's worth it for you to invest $80 to get one. For this setup, I will have Lydia with us again, and it's sunset time. I will have the sun behind her to have a nice glow around her body and some separation. Using as a second light, I will have the IT30 on the camera, and I will see if I need to do any exposure compensation. I'm shooting at f8, 250 of a second shutter speed, and ISO 100. I'll take some pictures without the flash to see the difference, and I'll take some pictures with the flash on. I dial in some compensation right now for this situation. I have -1 and 3/10 compensation to have a nice exposure. Usually with the wide angle lenses, all the flashes get a little bit funky, but what I see is pretty consistent right now. I will switch to manual mode. I am at a quarter power and 7/10. I want to stay consistent, so I will take a couple of pictures with Lydia. I would like the sun behind her. I like to see some of the reflection in the water. Testing the flash and high-speed sync works really good. I'm surprised a flash this size, you know, works that good. I'm a 1,000 of a second shutter speed at f4 and ISO 100, and you know, like 3-4 feet from Lydia. I have a very nice exposure on her face, evening out the shadow side. Very nice. I'm really impressed for how small it is and how good it works in a situation like this. And I think this flash shines in a situation like this, close proximity, and when you have some kind of like ambient light, because the ambient works as a second light, so you just fill in some shadows, have a nice exposure. Also the skin tones, in any situation I tested this flash, the skin tones look really good all the time. I think this is a plus for this flash, and being able to work in HSS and TTL. Right now I have the flash in TTL. I just dial in some exposure compensation, -7/10, because I just want to keep control of the output. But it works very nice for a rapid fire like this. Right now I am just keep blasting, and it recharges really fast, and it keeps up. I mean, In some situations, the exposure stays consistent. Sometimes, in a tricky light situation, the exposure goes haywire, and sometimes when you are in manual mode, the flash gets stuck. Many times it happens when I was in manual mode and I was trying to adjust the flash. Especially when you use it as a transmitter, I think is when the flash gets stuck and something happened with the power, and I cannot go below 16 power. It goes from full to 16, but all the way down to 128 it doesn't go. I have to turn it on and off, and it goes back to normal. So it's something, I don't know, maybe it's a user error or is something wrong with the flash. Maybe they need to do a firmware update to resolve the problems, or maybe it's something you have to live with it. I think one of the biggest strengths of these flashes is the ability to use an external flash with it to work as a transmitter to trigger my AD100. The two flashes work together really nice. I'm shooting in high-speed sync with both flashes at 2000 of a second at 2.8 ISO 100. I really like the skin tones. I really like the total output and how everything comes together. And both flashes are in TTL, and I dial exposure compensation on both to -1 stop. Now I'm just going through this little trick to go over the railing, because I only have the flash in the same direction of the natural light is coming, to have a nice fall off on Lydia's space. This way I can blend my artificial light with the natural light even better. I really like the images. They are very nice and dramatic. And surprisingly, it's just with the help of this little flash. Both flashes are still on ETTL. Both flashes are -1 stop for exposure compensation, and they are staying very consistent right now. Well, I tested the flash indoors and outdoors, and it really renders nice skin colors, and it's pretty good for what it is. And you have to learn the limitation of this flash and where to use it and how to use it. So who is this flash for? I guess the beginners will benefit from this flash because it's very affordable, it's small. You have TTL, which is amazing, and also you can start learning to adjust your flash manually, and it gives you a little bit of advantage in many situations. For event shooters, the flash is really great because the battery will last to 560 flashes per charge, so we're going to keep up for any kind of event you have. For travel photographers, at 4.2 ounces, it is perfect for a minimalist kit. Are going to be my go-to flash for street and travel photography from now on. So, for professionals, I think it's great as a backup field light, but the small screen limits the complex multi-flash setups. I think you should stick with the X-T3 for a situation like this. It works good for behind-the-scene kind of situation, and just grab and put it on the camera, take some family and friends pictures. I think is great for that, but for a real professional work, it's a little bit iffy. Now, the cons for this flash. It's good to have a rechargeable battery, but because you cannot replace it when the battery goes dead, the flash is unusable. Also, not being able to tilt this flash in any direction, it's also a bad thing. The pros, it's very compact, it has TTL, it has HSS, 560 flashes of full power. It has a lot of going on. Not being reliable all the time, it's a little bit of downsides, but it's for how much it costs, I think it's a very good option. So what you guys think? Will you grab one of these flashes for your kit, or you have another flash you think is better? Also, let us know in the comments below what other piece of gear you would like us to review. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.